Hi guys, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and it is Saturday, March 17th, 2018. I'm trying something a little different today and filming in front of the trees instead of filming in front of the boring paneled wall. We'll see if the cars behind us make this better or worse than the blank wall. Let me know if you have an opinion of that. So the first thing I have to share with you today is I have a finish. This is Quoth the Raven by Ken Cavell Crosses. I did it as part of the EAP Stitch Along, EAP Macabre Stitch Along on Bewitched Stitches. The pattern is free from Ken Cavell Crosses, and I'll link to their website down below where you can find it for yourself. I plan to use this Halloween fabric that I've had in my stash for quite a while. And I haven't got all the details worked out in my head yet, but this is going to be a project bag. And I'm really happy with this finish. It was more intricate and more counting than most of what I've been doing lately, and I had a couple of little mishaps that involved picking out black thread at 1 a.m. But overall it's done and I really like it. So other project, I am still working on a Little Girl's Fancy. I have been working on the back stitching on the rocking chair and my dolls. And someone, I cannot remember who, one of the new members of Bewitched Stitches posted pictures of her work she had finished. And one of them was, this is the pattern page, not the front page of the pattern, not the pattern itself. It is these two lovely twins from The Shining in their blood-spattered blue dresses. And got me thinking, I love the movie The Shining, about these little girls, dolls in their blue shaded dresses, and how maybe this could be an interesting combination on the wall. So I'm not sure quite where I'm going with that yet, but I really want to stitch these girls. And I ordered the pattern from Etsy, got it printed out. Haven't made it farther than that yet, but I'm excited about it. One of the reasons I haven't shared much of my own work on Bewitched Stitches because I wasn't working on anything creepy. And then I saw the Grady twins in their blood-spattered blue dresses and got thinking about my dolls. And got to remembering how when my husband and I went and took a tour of the historic house where we got married almost 28 years ago, one of the rooms, the tour guide warned us, a lot of people don't go in there because it currently has a doll display. And people think dolls are creepy. So maybe I can share that project there. Maybe I've been wrong. And then I got thinking about a couple of dolls in my life that definitely are creepy and that I thought I might like to show with you. So the first is this gal. I don't know if it shows up really well. She's got teeth. She has real teeth and she has a tongue. And when I was very young, a family member took great delight in pointing out that she has real teeth and she has a tongue and she has a mechanism so that she can walk. And this doll gave me nightmares. This doll scared the bejeebers out of me. Time passed. She got passed down to my daughter when my daughter was in her late teens. And when my daughter moved out, she left the doll at my house. I'm not sure who she technically belongs to, but she's hanging out at my place now. And I picked her up to take some pictures of her because I needed vintage pictures for a blog post. When you pick her up, the swivel in her neck, it's not doing it today, but I picked her up to take those pictures and her neck tilts. It is the eeriest, most unsettling thing. So I don't know if I love this doll or I hate her. I'm pretty sure I love her. She's belonged to someone in the family since she was new. She's not as old as I had originally been led to believe because she's plastic. I don't know if she has a name. I'm just, and there goes the head. I'm fascinated by this little girl. And then the other doll that scarred my formative years. This is Little Red Riding Hood's grandma. Have you seen these topsy-turvy dolls where you have Little Red Riding Hood and you have Little Red Riding Hood's grandma? My little sister had one that was just two different little girls in dresses. This one, if you flip Grandma's bonnet, you've got the wolf. The wolf has teeth and red lipstick and dead shark eyes that reflect the light. My great-grandma sewed her for me when I was small, and my great-grandma made a lot of things that scared me. I would love to be able to find out now. Of course she didn't do it on purpose. There's no way she did it on purpose. But did anyone know how badly this thing scared me when I was little? And she passed away when I was 10, and this has to have been made well before then. So I've got questions. I do have somewhere in my sewing stash Grandma's copy of this pattern that's in her handwriting, and it's mimeographed in that purpley blue ink. I want to make one. I want to make one of these for myself. Someday I'm going to dig it out and I'm going to do that. I like dolls. I don't like all dolls. I don't ever want to have a big collection of just pretty porcelain dolls, but dolls with personality and dolls with family history just are my favorite things. So we went to an estate sale yesterday because I like estate sales, and estate sale season is beginning. And the weekend before, I had gone to a sale with my husband, advertised as an 8-bedroom residence with 40+ years accumulation. Guys, I think it was a cult. That place scared me. If I hadn't had my husband with me, I would have been out the door so fast. But I had him, and realistically, we weren't in any danger. And the fact that there was a big digital timer on the far wall counting down 2 hours and 5 minutes to 0, I'm sure that was something totally not worth feeling stressed over. But I've been to hundreds of estate sales over the years, and that one made me rethink my whole estate sale hobby. So Saturday or Friday, the sun was shining. The boys and I were on our own for the day, and we decided to go do some estate sailing. Look what I found. This is, I don't know if it will show up well here, it's a wooden ironing board. I love wooden ironing boards. I've got one of my own. I bought one for my daughter when she got her own place. This is a child-size wooden ironing board, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I love it, and I'll insert a picture here of it while it's fully extended so you can see exactly why I love it so much. And aside from not realizing that there were wooden ironing boards that looked so much like my full-size ironing board, it was cheap. I looked these up on Etsy after I got home, and I can't afford a wooden ironing board except for this one from this sale. So, shawl update. Last time I did a video, I showed you my blue feather and fan shawl. I used, they're called Karen Big Cakes. This is the smaller version of the yarn, and it's different colors with very long pattern repeats. And they're so pretty, but they don't really fit with the type of knitting that I do. But there was a sale, and I caved in and I bought some, and I've been looking for patterns that I wanted to make that would take advantage of the color shifts. So I am really, really happy with the way that this turned out. And I am also really happy with the next shawl I'm working on. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head. I think Close to Me, Close to You, something like that. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'll put a link. And it's just garter stitch with this little decorative edging. This yarn is Knit Picks Chroma. I had bought it thinking that I could use it to knit socks, but it's a very loosely spun single ply, and some of it's thick, some of it's thin. It won't make socks, but for the shawl, it's working well and I'm happy. So, somewhere here I have a list of what I was going to tell you. Birthday starts. My birthday is in about 10 days, and I've been listening to Bendy Stitcher, Michelle Garrett talk about her birthday start and other people talking about their birthday starts and thinking about what that could translate to in my life. There are things I want to start, and I'm about due to start a new project anyway, so I'm deciding whether I want to do an official birthday start or not. But I thought I would show you my birthday quilt, and I'll insert a picture of it here. The story behind this quilt is on my 38th birthday, about 7 years ago, my husband got called in to work overtime, and so I was home alone on my birthday with the kids. And started out feeling sorry for myself, but then over the course of the day I was looking through a library book, found a picture of a 150-year-old quilt in a book. And over the course of the day, I drafted the pattern for the quilt. I dug through my scraps of fabric, and I started the quilt March 26th. By March 31st, the top was done, it was quilted, and I was shopping for binding fabric. I had so much fun that week on that quilt. The name of this quilt is 38, and I don't think of my quilts as in terms of things that I will keep forever or things that are heirlooms. But this one is. I love this quilt. So I may do a birthday start, and as I've talked about that, I may have an idea what my birthday start is going to be. We'll see what happens over the next week or so. So I've talked about creepy dolls and toy ironing boards, and I don't know if this isn't what I had in mind for my birthday start, but maybe. A few months back, my daughter and I were at St. Vincent's at the thrift store looking at their craft section, and something had happened. Someone had donated a ridiculous number of unopened counter cross stitch kits. And they were running about $2.99, but somehow they had been there long enough that the color tag made them 25% off. So they were really inexpensive, and I wound up bringing most of them home with me. My favorite of the bunch is this Jan Lynn kit called, what is she called? Girl with Cosmos. I love this, guys. And when I got it home, I found out it had been opened. And that's not a problem, because the floss, it hasn't been started. The floss is all intact. And guys, this is one of the kits with the pre-sorted floss, which will make me happier. And they had put in, there is the blue Ada that came with the kit, and there's also blue linen. So I've been kind of wrestling with myself. Do I want to do it with Ada, or do I want to do it with linen? I know linen will look nicer, but my eyes are more compatible with Ada. So I put up, and I also wanted to wait to spring, because I get weirdly seasonal about my stitching and my knitting. Those kits got me thinking of what was up in my sewing room. There was, years and years ago, a local craft store went out of business just while I was getting started on cross stitching. Their kits were hugely discounted, and I bought a lot of them. And when we moved, I packed up all my cross-stitch stuff. I put them under everything else because I was busy knitting and quilting and not in a hurry to get back to them. So I dug them out because I knew I had some Marty Bell kits, and I had forgotten about this little girl. Now, when I was about the age of the little girl in the picture, my parents had a cabin cruiser, and I spent a lot of time standing maybe a little too close to the edge of the wooden dock. And when I first bought this years ago, it conjured up those memories, and I love it. Not sure I love the navy blue fabric, but she needs the navy blue fabric to make her work. And these are both Jan Lynn kits. Then there is this little girl. It is just a chart, so maybe it was available as a kit at one point. When our daughter, our oldest, was about this age, her great-grandparents had a house at the coast. And I remember one afternoon taking her down on the beach, and she just wallowed in the sand. It wasn't quite as cute as this. This girl is much cleaner than our little girl was, but I want to stitch these little girls. I don't know if I'm going to... Right now I want to stitch them all this month, which of course there aren't enough hours in the month, and I don't know how long it will take me to stitch them, and I don't know how many other projects will call to me and distract me along the way. But that's okay. There's not a deadline. There's not a hurry. I've got time, or I don't have time. I don't know. We'll see what life holds. So, last thing to share with you, last time I showed you I've been bobbinating DMC trying to see if I have a complete set still in my stash. Turns out I am 19 colors short, not counting the variegateds and not counting all of the new colors from this last year and the release before that, but all of my patterns are older than those new colors, so I don't feel bad about not having them. Next time Joann's has a sale, I am filling in the gaps, and maybe between now and then I'll find some more kitted up projects or UFOs and find those colors there. Thank you for watching, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed or left comments. I really appreciate the support. And like I said, I will link to Quoth the Raven and that shawl pattern down in the description below. And I'll be back in a week or two with another video. Thank you.